Hi, good morning. Welcome to Launching Unified Commerce for Dynamics ERP. We're thankful that you're able to join us this morning. Let me introduce ourselves. Roy Chompko is the Adage president. We have over 20 years of .NET development. Last year we had $1.4 billion of e-commerce flowing through code that we have developed. I'm J.R. Samples. I'm the Director of Strategic Relationships for Adage. We also have Johan Lillerost with us. Johan is a VP of Commerce and Product Development for Avincia. Johan also has over 20 years of e-commerce experience and has developed and consulted on over 100 e-commerce implementations. We also are happy to have Jim Bertler with us. He's a principal with Logan Consulting. Logan is experienced within the Microsoft CRM and Dynamics ERP solutions. And so let me go right to the agenda. Today we're going to cover some of the current state challenges and obstacles people are running into with selling online. We're going to give a demonstration on achieving unified commerce with the D365 e-commerce demonstration Johan will walk us through, and then address some Q&A and next steps here at the end. So Roy, if you don't mind, go ahead and walk us through the current state of e-commerce.
Thanks, JR. Welcome everybody, and so we're gonna talk a little bit about where we're at today as we see the marketplace as it relates to e-commerce. So today, it's probably no surprise that approximately $2.8 trillion worth of commerce is flowing online globally. That is expected to actually increase almost threefold by 2020. It's a big number, and it's going to continue to increase as time moves forward. Today, it's estimated that 1.5 billion people are using online e-commerce transactions to fulfill their purchasing needs. It's expected that to grow to approximately 2 billion people by 2020. So another interesting note here is that about 2 out of every 10 people, or 20%, are shopping online weekly. Another 6 people are actually shopping online monthly, and anecdotally, this is likely true with your own personal experience. The other 20% is still sort of sitting on the sidelines, and perhaps transacting a little bit more than less frequently than once a month or once a week. So another interesting thing to note is that B2B buyers strongly prefer or require a supplier to have B2B e-commerce website. So it's not something that can be put off much longer. It's expected in the marketplace that this will be a requirement, if not a beyond a highly desired relationship with your supplier. It's going to be something that's being demanded by your customers out there. So what we've seen over the years, we've got about, as JR mentioned, about 20 years of experience here at Adage with transacting, purchases online. And what we saw in the early days was, limited or no ERP integration, a lot of HTML-only sites, no content management. There was, real simple online purchasing. I think a lot of it was actually insecure. We actually were able to demonstrate at one point to a client how we were able to purchase something that was a $400 item for $1. That was back in 2002. What we then saw moving to second generation was the ability to add a card onto an ERP platform, which is sort of a bolt-on solution. It was integrated with the POS a lot of times. We did see some standalone CMSs. However, we had multiple domains, meaning that you'd have a www and perhaps another site that was redirected to in terms of commerce for something like shop. It often provides simple searches, but again, multiple platforms, often different technology stacks that we've run into. When we see organizations move into the third generation, and a lot of them today that we see in the marketplace are pretty much between the second and third generation. They might have a partial cloud representation in terms of one of their sites might be in the cloud, the other one's on-prem. They might hopefully have one domain that's representative of both their content and commerce sites. We're seeing some combination, and that's what we're here really to talk to you about in a lot of ways, is how to combine content and commerce together. There's, human controlled rule-based personalization, which does require a little bit of extra work on the organization side to provide that personalization, but it's available to them and it's controllable. Faceted search is another thing that we're seeing a lot more of with third-generation organizations, with the ability to quickly slice and dice the type of products that they've become accustomed to, those searches on a site like Amazon. The other thing that is representative of a third-gen organization is that there's a single source of truth. They're doing omni-channel purchasing, meaning that I can go online, shop for something, put it in a wish list or a shopping cart, walk into the store, and the salesperson can help me actually find that same item that I put into my shopping cart. Having that multi-dimensional experience, perhaps I might then follow up with a phone call to their call center. That's another example of how that can be an omni-channel experience for someone touching the organization in 3 different ways. Finally, 4th gen, which is really where the market's heading in the future, and there's a few of them out there, the very big players such as Amazon are doing this today, but you're getting AI-enabled personalization. You're seeing machine learning. It's an all-cloud solution. It's a headless CMS. There are microservices that you can take advantage of in the cloud. And then it's also providing the ability to do intelligent campaigns. What's interesting is this was, again, led by an Amazon-like organization, but this technology is now coming down into the mid-market, away from perhaps the enterprise market, and we're starting to see tools that we're going to be able to utilize in that fashion for our customers. And again, we're going to show you some of that today. So the idea behind creating a unified commerce experience is what we're here to talk about, and that's using Episerver Commerce for Microsoft Dynamics. We can solve that omni-channel puzzle by adding Episerver to the platform on top of the Dynamics business logic that you might be using today. And so some obstacles that we found that people have selling online that perhaps aren't doing as effective job of it today, we'll walk you through some of those. So first of all, there's channel conflicts. So if you're part of a dealer organization or have a dealer network, you might have that, and we're seeing some of that come into play at times with organizations that want to move to the online selling experience, and that's sometimes more of a business obstacle than it is a technology obstacle. There's complexity involved with it because obviously you have specialized pricing for your customers that you won't experience in a B2C model. Sometimes a business model just simply doesn't support it. Oftentimes we find with B2B organizations, there's digital laggards in the group that don't necessarily feel that the online commerce is necessary because they've always had their relationships and they sell by relationships. But that's certainly changing. Integration tends to be one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle when it comes to the expensive projects like this. Just about every organization has multiple systems that they're running, and they have to find ways to tie that information together. So integration becomes key when we're talking about online commerce. Technical debt over time. Sometimes organizations might be running an older ERP platform that's more difficult to keep up to date, or perhaps integrate with, or perhaps they've been built out in such a way that the complexity is just greatly increased and there's a bit of technical debt. We do see data silos. Again, that gets to the multi-system environment that many of us are running today in our organizations, that we have to deal with data silos that might be in different areas of the organization that have to be pulled together. And then finally, we see a lot of developer dependency out there, where the developer is the one that knows the e-commerce code, and they're the person that is controlling that environment, and oftentimes it almost becomes a hostage scenario because we've got to deal with somebody that knows the code and perhaps no one else does because of the limited size of the IT organization. And so we take it from the other side of the view, and what do customers experience today, or what are their expectations? They want it to, just to read a few of these, but they want it to be easy. They want it to be relevant and personal. Certainly, they want to get the best price that they can. They want it to be fast. So there's a lot of drivers out there that are making it so that keeping up with the e-commerce and digital trends today are becoming very complicated for organizations. And again, what we're trying to say is that there's a better solution out there that can make your life a bit easier and a bit more straightforward in terms of how you run your digital platform and organization and move to an e-commerce world. So what we're drilling down a little bit further, what we're going to talk about today is, first of all, it's built on the cloud. It's a native cloud app. As you're all well aware, if you're here on this call, is that Microsoft does offer, and they've made the move to the cloud in terms of Dynamics. So you run the core of your business in the cloud or even on-prem as possible. But in this solution, we're looking at a full cloud solution that is unified on the cloud in terms of both ERP and CRM. The Episerver component provides a way to have a customer-facing, fully digital experience that can be leveraged for your organization and not only your core commerce needs, but also your digital needs overall. It's one platform that really combines the best in web content management, digital marketing, as well as digital commerce. You won't see that in many solutions out there today. Many of them are piecemealed, as I talked about, more that second gen, where you're dealing with different URLs for the content and the commerce. An important thing to note here is this is one solution that will provide a complete package that combines the three technologies I mentioned: web, digital, and digital marketing, digital commerce. So in addition to that, just sort of the core framework for both content and commerce, the solution includes a customer data platform, which allows for a recording of most of the transactions and information that's going on your website today, along with the commerce. In addition to that, we've got other add-ons that can be managed as part of this, or modules that include things like catalog management, email marketing, site search, personalization, both machine learning and human controlled, in addition to digital experience management, along with things like customer journey analysis and customer management. So, what's in the experience-driven commerce? The essentials really is, when you talk about it, product, customer order and promotion management tools. What we're super excited about today is the machine learning and human-powered personalization tools that are out there. This is going to continue to drive commerce in a better way for your organization. In addition, you're going to be able to do things like A/B testing, site search. The CMS and personalization is all located in the cloud. And then finally, the business user will be empowered, meaning that they'll have experience management tools using an industry-leading CMS. And so just a couple results that we've seen from using these type of tools is a 44% conversion rate, an average order value increase of 18%, reduced software and integration costs of 35%, and increased business unit productivity of over 300%. Some key benefits that we're seeing: it's a single source of commerce, product, and order records. Instead of having to have files transferred back and forth between different platforms and FTP sites, it's a single source of information about your orders and fulfillment and product records. It's always up to date. You've got lower costs because you're maintaining one environment. You're able to leverage the business logic that's been built up in the Dynamics 365 environment to operate your commerce website, so you don't have to try and transfer business logic or try and keep up with two different data stores in that regard. It supports omnichannel experiences, I mentioned. And finally, you're able to personalize the experience to your customers as needed. So with that, we're going to drill a little bit further. I'm going to pass it off to Johan, who's going to talk about the unified commerce experience solution using Episerver Commerce for Dynamics.
Thank you, Roy. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the solution itself and how everything is put together. And as Roy mentioned, this is a solution where we actually reuse the business logic in Dynamics, the same business logic that is used in the POS system, customer service system, and online, which basically means if you add something to the cart, and you calculate the cart, it will be the same business logic, calculating the cart as calculating promotions and campaigns in the POS system or in the ERP system. Same goes for inventory information, customer data, order data, and pricing, of course, which means instead of having 4 buckets of business logic, one in POS system, web system, ERP system, and in the customer service system, you will have one single bucket of business logic and one single point of truth. So I want to start off by talking about a few references. So one of our clients, or a few of our clients here in the US is, and in North America, is Jensen USA, which is selling bikes online. They have stores and a big online presence. We have Sean Coutu, which is the pharmacy in Canada. They have hundreds of stores, and combining the user experience from the stores to the customer service and online with a solution. Other interesting cases here is Kicks, which is a beauty chain with 200 stores, which is going all omnichannel, all in. They want to create the exact same experience for all the customers going online or into the stores. They want to be 100% sure that the customer is facing the same offering, the same prices, the same campaigns, the same wording in whatever channel they are visiting, and that everything works seamlessly between the different channels. And they are also very into be very agile. I know that the customers, the consumers today, they move much faster than a lot of the retailers. And to be able to move as fast as your consumers, you need a system where you can be very agile. And they saw the opportunity of being very agile while having everything in one single bucket. Makes it easier for them to follow their consumers' requirements and doing updates on the system and reaching out in all channels. Another one is Carpet Rights, which is being implemented right now. They're selling carpets and flooring in UK. They have about 440 stores. And what's interesting about that case is that it's fully integrated to Dynamics 365 Finance Operations. The entire POS setup for Microsoft with, I think it's like almost 800 POS units. But they're also integrated to Dynamics 365 Sales, which is basically the CRM system, and field service for booking fittings and entrepreneurs helping you with your flooring. So they're actually fully integrated to the entire Dynamics 365 stack. We're going to dig in a little bit more to the Easons case. So the Easons is a book retailer in UK, and retailing books today can be quite a challenge. So I mean, they really needed to do something to be a strong retailer retailing books. They needed a platform which could deliver complete marketing and e-commerce merchandising agility, enabling them to blend products and promotional content throughout the site and related campaigns. And of course, they needed to do this very agile, so they needed to be fully integrated to the Dynamics AX system, which also integrates to the other channels, store channel and the customer service channel. And there, of course, we're integrating with orders and product data, and using that data together with the Episerver web platform and the personalization of that web platform makes it possible to deliver a fully unified but also personalized experience for the customers. 1 year after live, we did a case study, and during their Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they could see a 60% uplift in revenues and 68% uplift in transaction, which was great. During the Christmas period, they had a 49% uplift in revenues and 54% uplift in transactions. And post-Christmas sales during January, they had a 75% uplift in revenues and 100% uplift in transactions. And this was basically done by being more relevant to your customer with AI and personalization tools, being able to face the customer with the right offer in the right channel at the right moment. So when we talk to retailers and business to business today about omnichannel and unified commerce, a lot of companies says that they have omnichannel, and from a customer facing perspective they do, they have a lot of integrations. The POS system is integrated to the ERP and the CRM system. The web system is integrated to the loyalty system, order management, warehouse management, customer service, and so forth. The problem here is that there is a lot of integrations, and a lot of integrations that is custom built. And having that set up is an enormous challenge, and keeping all those integrations up to date is a huge task. I mean, they usually spend a lot of their budget just keeping this ship afloat and get not very much propulsion in their business, and not being very competitive online, because they need to spend a lot of time on technical stuff and not investing that much in the customer journey. So they basically buy into a huge maintenance debt, as Roy said before. So what they will have an inconsistency in data and data calculations, since they will have a range of systems that does almost the same thing in the different channels. Going back to those 4 buckets of retail logic and data, they will have campaigns or promotions that calculates almost the same prices, pricing logic that calculates almost the same pricing logic, and probably inventory information that isn't really correct for all channels. I mean, you will probably be able to book something online to pick it up in store, but there's a high chance that it won't be left in the store when you get there because it's different systems. And this is where omnichannel becomes unprofitable, not only because of the huge cost of keeping everything afloat, but also that you will pretty much fail your consumers and create a bad experience for them. So we're talking about the challenge. We want to talk about the solution as well. So what we basically have done here is placing Microsoft Dynamics 365 in the center with the retail business logic, which is shared between all the channels. So you will have the same information and same calculations online, in the stores, in the customer service, and you will also have one single point of administration where we manage the entire solution. Setting up a campaign or a promotion will be done in Dynamics 365 on one single place and will be pushed out to all channels. Working with the customer information or working with order management will be done in one single place. And for example, if you reach into the web solution and log into My Pages and, for example, look at order history, you will not look into order history in the web solution. You will actually look into the data that is stored in the retail server, which is exactly the same single point of truth as for the POS system or the ERP system. So you actually look at the same data. You don't ship a lot of data back and forth. Having said that, it's pretty much a real-time integration, except the product information, which we send over to Episerver, to the web platform. We need that there to be able to index it in the personalized find, which is a personalized search engine, and using it for product recommendations, and also shipping product information out to other channels such as Amazon and stuff like that. So what we're having here is shared business retail logic and business retail data, and with the Episerver platform on top of that, we add AI-driven personalization, marketing automation, social connections, and content marketing. Basically managing the entire digital strategy from one and the same system, all integrated to Dynamics 365. Now, Episerver Commerce for Dynamics ships not only with a pre-built integration, it also ships with a starter site, which out of the box is responsive. It has full customer integration, which is bi-directional. You can create customers in whatever channel, and you will have access to your customer account in the store or online or via customer service. The order integration is also bi-directional, of course. So if I do a purchase in a physical store and identify myself with a loyalty card or something like that, I will have those receipts under My Pages online as well. If I create orders online, they will of course be accessible in the POS system or in the customer service system, so it's like fully integrated. The product catalog is fully integrated with categories, products, kits, and bundles. You'll have the same information reaching out in all channels. You can also add an external PIM system to that integration. So if you want to have Dynamics as where the system where the product is born, and then you will enrich your products in the PIM system. That is also possible. So you can enrich the products in the PIM system, and they will be available for the different channels as well. Then, of course, there are information or integrations for gift cards, promotions, discounts, and loyalty. When it comes to promotions and discounts, the Dynamic 365 solution has a lot of different types of promotions, where everything from mix and match to threshold discounts and percentage discounts and lowering the prices. And I never heard a retailer saying that we need more than that's available there. Loyalty system, where you can set up different loyalty schemes for different channels, and you can earn points on your purchases, and you can use those points for doing for payments, and you can also earn points for creating tips and rating and reviews and stuff like that. So you don't only have to earn points on purchases, you can earn points on being a loyal customer too, by talking about your products and stuff like that. And shipments is set up in Dynamics and reaches out to all the different channels. We have customer-specific pricing. So basically, the customer-specific pricing is set up in Dynamics. It's available in all channels. The entire checkout is integrated, so everything from shipments and payments and customer information and everything like that is fully integrated to Dynamics. The web and store inventory, so you can, of course, get information about the stores, but also exact information about their inventory levels on different products. And wish lists, and the wish lists are a feature of Dynamic 365 for retail, so you can use that as registers or purchasing wish lists. So if you set up a wish list online, it will be shipped into the POS system, so you can ask in the store to get your wish list, and the personnel in the store can help you find your products that you have in the wish list. Also very interesting information for personalization, of course. And then, of course, there's media integration. You can use coupon codes, newsletter integration, users and authentication, and as I said before, store detail pages. So if we take a high-level technical view of the solution, this is pretty much what it looks like. So going from the bottom up, you will have the Dynamics 365 solution. In Dynamics 365, there are a few different softwares, systems. One is Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations with retail, and that is formerly known as AX. And with the retail module, you will have something called the Dynamics Retail Server. And the Retail Server is actually a server which scales in the cloud, which makes it possible for you to handle high loads of web traffic and a lot of transactions online. And it contains the business logic for retail and a lot of business data, such as talked about before, like orders, customers, and calculating campaigns and prices and inventory and stuff like that. And that is actually the same server which Microsoft POS systems uses. So we're actually pointing into one single point of truth. And we integrate that Dynamics Retail Server with Episerver to handle order management, customer management, commerce management, catalog management, and all the different bits and parts for doing commerce online. And then, of course, you have the call center, which could be integrated to Customer Service 365, which is a part of Sales 365. But also, you can use a call center functionality in Finance and Operations, which means that it's already pre-integrated with the call center functionality. On top of that, Microsoft has built something they call Microsoft Common Data Service, Microsoft Common Data Service, and Microsoft Flow. That integration layer is basically tying all the bits and pieces together in Dynamics 365. So you will have a standardized integration between sales and AX, between sales and field service and stuff like that. Since we can do integrations to Microsoft's Common Data Service and Microsoft Flow, it also means that it's possible for you to have integrations directly to Sales 365 or Field Service or Dynamics, the entire Dynamics 365 ecosystem. Now that ecosystem is quite interesting because a lot of third-party systems integrate to Microsoft Common Data Service, Today we see, well, competitors to Microsoft like Salesforce and other ERP systems, but also a lot of, for example, email providers like MailChimp, and I think there's about 250 external connectors to that system. So, I mean, we have connectors that says as soon as you register for a newsletter online, we can kick off a process in Microsoft Flow, sending that email address to Microsoft CRM and further on to MailChimp, for example. So we can reach outside the Microsoft Dynamics 365 stack as well. And then, of course, NAV, the other ERP system from Microsoft, which is now changing name into Business Central. We're also integrating to that via LS Retail, which adds the retail dimension to NAV. So we'll have basically the same integration to NAV with LS Retail. Okay, so I'm going to move on to demonstration. I'm going to show a little bit about the starter site, and the starter site is basically, oh well, it is what it is. It's a starter site. This site is built for starting up a new project. It's not built to be a demo site, but we want to show you the functionality that you have when you open up the box, what you have when you start up a new project. So this is pre-integrated to Dynamics Finance and Operations with all the different integrations that I already talked about. And this is where you start your project. One thing about this that is very good, it's very easy for you to set up an initial standard setup of this and do a fit gap analysis with your existing site and your existing business process, and also challenging your existing business processes and see if there's something that we can do different internally so we can go more standard. Everyone want to go more standard today when it comes to ERP systems and e-commerce, making it easier to keep up to date with the latest versions. You will see the integration through this demo, and I will show you some bits and parts of Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations for retail as well. So let me switch over to so this is set up. This is a standard starter site setup. Set up on a server in Europe. So from day one, when you start up a new project, you will have first the muscles of the entire Episerver web platform, which includes personalized search engine, Perform, which is product recommendations and content recommendations. You will have the entire digital marketing tool. You will have marketing automation, and you will have access to social media integrations and stuff like that. And when you start up a new project, you will also have, of course, this site is built for handling different markets and different languages, so it can be an international player with this one. You have the search engine, as I said before, personalized search engine, so it will deliver results depending on your traffic and depending on what your interest is. The cart fully integrated to Dynamics, which shows you the products you have in your cart, of course, but also calculating the different promotions that is set up in Dynamics. As I said, you have the product catalog integrated, so everything that is set up in Dynamics and how you set up the categorization for the online channel in Dynamics will be reflected online and available online out of the box as well. And when you set up promotions in Dynamics, the promotions will actually be shipped out here automatically. All this is set up in Dynamics. For example, I set up a SLR discount promotion, and that will automatically generate a promotion page, a campaign page in Episerver, and that will go online at the same date as it's set in Dynamics as well. So it's fully automated. But of course, you can change that process if you want to have a manual process, yes, to add some more content to this in Episerver. In every page where you have some kind of list or product list, there will be, and I'll show you some more about that, but there will be filtering capabilities, and those filters actually set up in Dynamics as well. There's something called dynamic attributes in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, and on those attributes you can say that this attribute, for example brand, should be a filterable attribute. That information will be available in Episerver, and as you configure your search engine for that attribute to be filterable, the filters will appear on the sites. So I mean, you don't need to rebuild the integration or release a new version for stuff like that. All the products that is included in some kind of campaign or promotion will be flagged as that, and you will also be able to see a preview of the products, just a short information about the product. You can add it to the cart, you can add it to your wish list, or you can see more details about it. And if we go into the product page, let's see here. Here you can see information about the stock status, the inventory status, as I said before, the online stock, and the different stores that carry this product. And these are numbers that is fetched in real time from the retail server, which is the same information that the stores use and the ERP uses. So if you click on one of those, we go to Ann Arbor, this is information directly from the ERP system about that store from the store directory. And of course, you can add more information about this store in Episerver. Once again, this is a starter site, it's not a demo site. It's meant for you to build on top of that. Going back to the product page, of course, information like SKU number, item number, unique selling points, description, images and stuff like that, that is all shipped from Dynamics into Episerver to be able to be indexed online. Then of course you have variants, support for variants, and you can do that on different levels, sizes, colors and stuff like that. You have different types of prices. This is a promoted product, so it has campaign price, and you can show the original price as well. And of course you can add it to the cart, and you can see that this is a part of different promotions, and this is pretty much the basic product detail information. But scrolling down a little bit, you can see that there's a lot of product recommendations here, and these recommendations is actually what Episerver Perform gives us to the product. We're actually listening into the traffic online. So what are the different people doing online, and what is specifically I'm doing online? What's my interest? What is I looking at as a consumer? And Episerver Perform will process that information and always give me the most relevant recommendations. And this is really good for, of course, your conversion rates and your retention and creating a very good customer experience, because you don't need to search for the products in the same way. I mean, if you have a landing page which is personalized for me, there's a high chance that I will just click buy on the first product and go to the checkout, and in the checkout I will recommend some accessories that is personalized for me, and I will add that to the cart as well. And of course you can also set up, so these are automatic recommendations. You can also set up more static recommendations. For example, accessories for this specific product. There could be some product that really need to be a manual setup because you want to be sure that they fit together or something like that. And that you can do from Dynamics as well. So in the catalog management in Dynamics, you can go in and do that as well. So let's go in on the My Pages here, for example. So when you start off a new project, you will of course add design and of course alterations to this site according to your requirements. But from the start, you will have support for working with the profiles. You will have support for adding an address book for each user, so you can have a lot of different addresses. You will have support for email marketing, change password, and order history. And as I said before, when we look at the order history here, when I click on an order here, I'm actually looking right down in the channel database, which is the shared database for all channels. So this is the same information that the POS system looks at and the ERP system looks at. And of course, you have a wish list, and this wish list is available in the POS system as well. So if I go into the store and identify myself with a loyalty card or something, the personnel in the store can see my wish list and help with the good recommendations in the store as well. So if we take a look at the checkouts, so as I said before, the campaigns and everything is calculated by Dynamics, so you can see what your savings are here, and the cart total, shipping and handling, VAT, and so forth. And I mean, here in the US, you have a lot of sales tax calculations, depending on state and depending on where you ship it and stuff like that. And there are a lot of ISVs delivering that solution for Dynamics as well. And as long as that is available in Dynamics and gives the right prices to the retail server in Dynamics, we will get the right price, which basically means that we don't have to integrate the tax solution online. We will use the same sales tax solution that is available in Dynamics. And here you can select to ship your items or pick them up in store by selecting the store you want to pick it up in. That is available out of the box as well. And payments. And we have pre-built integration with Stripe payments, and will be more integrations in the future. But having an integration to a payment provider basically set this solution as you can run this solution basically out of the box, but you will of course need to do your adaptations to it and your design, and you will have business processes that you want to adapt and stuff like that. But I think the important thing to remember here is that you start off with a fully integrated solution to Dynamics. And the credit card provider here is also integrated fully into Dynamics. So for example, if you place an order online and you call to customer service and you want to cancel the order, they can do that from Dynamics, just clicking the order and cancel it, and you will have your funds back on your credit card within a few days. So that is fully integrated from day one. And of course, you can use your gift card information here, if you have gift cards, and you can use your loyalty information to just register your purchase, or using points for payments. You can mix payments, of course, a little bit with credit card, a little bit with gift card, a little bit with loyalty points. So I'm not going to give you a full demonstration of Dynamics Finance and Operation, but I'm going to show you a little bit about it, because there are a few bits and pieces here that I said a few times now already. It's integrated, but for example, if you take a look at the discounts in Dynamics 365, so now the interface you're seeing now is Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations for Retail, which is used to be called AX for Retail. And here you basically set up your discounts, and if you take a look at a few different discounts here, you're just telling that this should be available in the different channels. If you need a coupon code, it will generate coupon codes for you. You can decide if we're going to prioritize over customer-specific pricing or over other discounts. So you have all that functionality built in from day one. If it's exclusive to other discounts and what currency to use. Of course, you can add your details and information about the discount, and this is information that will be shipped out to Episerver when you save this discount and used to create the promotion page in Episerver. Then, of course, the core of it, setting up the price and discount. In this case, it's just a discount percentage. You say that this should have 15% discount, and it should have that for a specific period. And then, of course, what would it apply to? And here you can actually say that this should apply to a full category or specific products. So, for example, all Nikon D80 cameras, but then also you can go down to a variant and say, we want to discount the yellow small shirt, or we want to discount the entire model, or we want to discount the entire category for that model. And here you can also do specific details for that line, and of course you can add more lines here. So you can say that this one is specifically for a specific unit. Maybe some is sold by pieces and some is sold by packages, stuff like that. You can also say that this is a discount percentage or a different type of promotion, yes, for a specific line, and set the percentage here, or a cash discount, and if it applies to a specific warehouse, or every warehouse, or a specific store, or all stores. So you can go down to quite a lot of details in your different discounts. Then of course you have the sales orders, and this is basically where you work with your order management for all channels. Just opening up an order here, you will get access to the order, the customer information, all the information that is created online by the customer. And here you do the fulfillment, or you can just cancel the order, or you can push it through the fulfillment process of shipping and handling and stuff like that. And of course, the customer service can go in here and help them to adjust the order and maybe do add payments to the order and stuff like that. And of course, then you can reach into the customer database, and of course all the products, and work with the product catalog. So I've just been scratching the surface of Dynamics. Dynamics is a fully-fledged ERP system. I'm just showing some parts that is integrated from day one when you start up a project. I've been showing and just scratching the surface of the Episerver web platform and the starter site. There are a lot of more information and features that you can use in the Episerver platform, but we'll probably reach out with more demonstrations about that in the future. So that will be what I had to say about the solution and the demonstration of our solution.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks, Johan. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about, and we certainly enjoy the opportunity of doing so with any of the attendees in the coming days as well. We will be attending the summit gathering out in Phoenix in October. If some of you are going to be there as well, it would be wonderful to make your personal acquaintance. As well, today we really showed you the big picture of what a unified and integrated ERP and e-commerce solution look like. In the future, we are going to have some sessions that help you assess your own e-commerce maturity. We will look at how you can create your buyer journey and build a strategic UX UI design. Obviously, the omni-channel has a lot of complexities. We'll have a session on creating that roadmap. And then in terms of increasing revenue and impacting the average order size, there are capabilities within the Epi solution around AI and machine learning, intelligent campaigns, intelligent product recommendations. So there's a lot to cover here. Reach out to us if there's some specific interest in some of these. Otherwise, we will look forward to seeing you at a future webinar. So in summary today, we demonstrated the unified customer experience that's going across all the channels. It really gives you that opportunity of creating an excellent customer journey. You don't have to spend money and time building out another integration that has to be maintained and managed. And really looking at how through this combined commerce and content system that you can increase your conversion rate, increase your average order value, increase transactions, keep in touch with your clients, keep them retained, all across this unified AI-driven solution. So thank you again for joining us. Please reach out to us with any further interest and communication, and we look forward to talking again in the future.